All right. Good to go? Hello, everybody. Andy Mercado reporting here live from Status Coup News and the Midas Touch Network. We're here on the ground in Biddeford, Maine, after ICE murdered 26-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero in cold blood, just a couple blocks up from where we're standing right now. We are standing here on the scene as protest continues into day 3. Protests immediately begun on Monday night as soon as the community learned that this murder had taken place. And now they're still out here gathering, and we're going to be talking to people on the ground and also giving you guys a live look at the vigil site as it stands right now. A couple updates from today that were important because we had notes on stream yesterday and coverage yesterday about there being stopping of, or ICE was going to stop vehicle related incidents in the road. They were going to stop traffic stops, and Donald Trump reversed that decision today on Truth Social. And I just want to read some of that for you guys today. And I got some of those notes from what Trump had said. So Trump posted on Truth Social Wednesday morning that ICE would resume traffic stops like the one that led to the death of Johann Sebastian Guerrero. All right, so that's very important to know that Trump had announced that. This comes less than 24 hours after the Trump administration said they would stop doing these types of stops in light of the second of 3 traffic-related deaths in Maine in less than a week. One in Texas last week, one in Maine, and where Guerrero was killed, and another in Florida that took place on July 14th. And we also have reporting from another ICE-related shooting today, and I would like to read that for you guys if I could. I have some notes on that. Here we got in Irwin County. This is the 4th related incident this week, and I just want to make sure I get his name correct. Jesus Manuel Arenas Silva, who is a 45-year-old Venezuelan man, died after being found unresponsive on a transport bus while being transferred between an ICE detention facility in Georgia. ICE says the suspected cause of death is cardiac arrest, though the official cause remains pending. Right, and we're not going to get the truth from the federal government. Oftentimes, they will stonewall like investigations in Minneapolis. His death comes amid a series of fatal ICE-related incidents this week, including the fatal shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Texas, the fatal shooting of Johann Sebastian Guerrero here in Maine, and another man who died after being struck by a semi-truck fleeing an ICE enforcement operation. Arenas Silva's family and Georgia immigrant rights organizations allege ICE ignored requests to allow him to bring essential medication, later permitted only one medication, and then failed to provide the medication he needed while in custody. And we've heard cases like that in Delaney Hall in New Jersey, in Minneapolis at the Whipple Building, and in Los Angeles. ICE has not publicly responded to these allegations and has only stated that he became unresponsive during transport and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. So there has been multiple ICE-related murders here in the United States across the country over the past week. And I just want to reiterate that we are the only independent media here on the ground covering this story as we have been over the past year. We're going to go talk to some people that have gathered here. But I just want to reiterate, for less than $5 a month, please continue to support Status Coup News. StatusQNews.com. You guys can support there for just as low as $5 a month. StatusQuo.com/join, as my amazing videographer, John Farina, corrected me there. So again, /join. Make sure you guys do that to support independent media, to keep us here on the ground, telling the story as it happens. All right, let's go talk to some people. So behind me, you guys can see that there has been a memorial set up by the community. John, if you want to get a little closer, we can read some of these cards that were written. You guys can see that there's a sign that says Maine grieves, and also it says you shall not, I'm trying to read that, you shall not press of, I'm not quite sure what the last word says on that note there, but there's a bunch of personal messages written on cards, and then they're hanging up on the fence. As well, as you guys can see, there's flowers. There's actually street chalk provided so people can draw on the sidewalk that's standing here. There's candles, messages about ICE getting out of our cities. Very, very similar to what we have seen around the country in Broadview in Illinois, in Minneapolis, when John Farina and J.T. Siskowski went to South Carolina and Louisiana, and in the reporting from Tina in Los Angeles. Okay, this is very similar to what we're seeing across the country, and now here we're seeing it in Biddeford, Maine. Okay.
I know you said it before, but just let me know this is not where he shot.
Yep.
Killed.
And just to reiterate to you guys, this is not the scene of where Johann Sebastian Guerrero was killed. This is a place where there's been a consistent protest taking place. People come here to gather. As John is saying, this is actually this is the only way into where you can get to the vigil. You got to cross this bridge, and then the vigil is up the street, and we will go there here within the stream. But this has been a consistent protest from the moment that Johann was murdered on Monday, and people continue to gather here to stand in solidarity with Johann's family and demand accountability to the federal government for consistently murdering civilians in cold blood on the streets. Yeah. Let's go talk to Katie. Hello.
How are you?
Wonderful. I'm Andy Mercado, Status Coup News.
Nice to meet you.
Can you say your name for the stream?
Would you like my first and last or just the first?
However you feel comfortable.
KDC.
KDC. So you have your Melt Ice sign. What is your message to the federal government right now after they murdered Johann Sebastian Guerrero in cold blood in your community on Monday? What's your message to them with this sign?
ICE out. Abolish ICE now. Not, oh, we're going to stop doing pullovers or whatever. Abolish ICE now. Now. Abolish them.
What's your message if Democrats are running for office, or if there's politicians that are saying those words but not necessarily following through with that? What is your message to them, those politicians?
My message in that case is not to the politicians. My message in that case is to our civilian population. We need to hold our politicians' feet to the fire. All of them.
Do you feel that this is an issue that can be voted out of office, or do you feel that this is more of an issue that more people need to use their voice against?
It needs to be more people using their voice. We need to be in the streets. Everybody needs to be in the streets.
Absolutely.
I asked you before off camera. You watched all across the country violence from ICE, Border Patrol. Did you ever expect it to hit here at home?
No. Honestly, no. I thought we were better prepared for this than we were, because you never know what's going to happen, and we were trying to prepare for anything that could come our way. But no, I never expected this to be this close.
What were some of the ways you were trying to organize and prepare the community?
I had a whole group of people that, if this exact thing happened, was supposed to come together and organize and be in the town that happened in. I'm the only person that showed up.
You're the only person that showed up?
In my group, yes.
What are other ways you're trying to get more people involved to be out here and stand against this federal government?
Everybody I can here, telling them about Activate MAINE, which is a calendar that gets people together. It's not. I don't know which group actually runs it at this point. It might be its own group at this point, but all the other organizing groups put their information there on a single calendar, so it's easily available.
How can they access this calendar?
ActivateMaine.com.
Awesome. Tell it.
So, you said you had an issue getting people organized. Is that what happened?
Everybody's really scared right now. So what I'm hoping is that it was fear, and that in the next couple of days, honestly, in the next couple of hours, but in the next couple of days, they realize that what they need to do is be here in the streets like we planned.
Well, has anything changed since Monday? Since they shot and killed Johann?
I haven't been following the news very close. I've been making sure I'm here.
Have you been hearing anything from? Has any government officials came out here to stand with you or to talk with you?
Last night we had a gentleman from Public Works who let us know he would be happy to speak anything that he could to Public Works, but no, other than that, just Public Works.
What is your message to Janet Mills and the local government here? Janet Mills actually went to the vigil earlier today.
Yeah, somebody ran down and told us, and we were prepared here to interrupt her photo shoot as well. What I would say to Janet Mills, I don't know how to word this.
Yeah, however you want to, however it comes up.
The people of Maine have shown that they want change. They do not want the same bullshit corruption over and over and over again. We want change. And that's what we've voted for. And if she's not going to have her feet held to the fire, then she has no business being in our politics.
Absolutely. What's your message to people that are watching at home that, you run that group, you want more people out here? What's your message to those that are watching at home?
Get in the streets now. Now get in the streets.
Have you seen ICE operations in
They've been driving around. They've been driving around the city.
What have you seen from these ICE agents?
So far, all I've seen is them driving around. Here, there hasn't been anything else. It's just been them driving past us.
Have they stopped by and harassed you or said anything to you?
No, not ICE. It's just the locals doing that.
You see locals doing this?
So we had some counter protesters. We had some at the vigil on Monday. That is like our local problem. And then we had one this morning that was trying to heckle us. When they're here, people are more emboldened. And that's when they give us a hard time. If there's no counter protesters out here, though, all we have is support.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about Biddeford? People might not know much about this town.
How long do you have?
I mean, we're here all over whatever you
Biddeford is the heart of resistance in this area. It always has been. In 1924, Biddeford organized right here in this park to stop the KKK from marching across that bridge right there. The mayor, the police department, and the civilian population banded together to stop the KKK from coming across that bridge. We need to do that again. And it's not going to be a bridge this time. The world is different today. We need to stop ICE the way we stopped the KKK in 1924.
That's really good.
Another thing that I learned about Biddeford, I just learned this on Monday at the vigil. Biddeford was the home of the first mosque in America. The Albanian weavers that were here to work in these mills shaped this community.
How has the immigrant communities been impacted by ICE operations? What have you seen from Operation Catch of the Day, which was here in January, to what you're seeing now?
So I donated my kidney on January 20th, which was the first day of Catch of the Day. Every single member of my medical team was an immigrant. And they showed up with nothing but grace and compassion and treated me with the best care in a way that I don't know if I could do that if I was in their shoes. I really don't. I was in the hospital for 3 days after my surgery, and they took the best care of me while Catch of the Day was going on.
Well, yeah, I want to ask you. They're saying they're going after criminals, and what's your perspective?
It's a lie. It's a lie. They're targeting anybody that doesn't look like me. That's what they're doing. They're targeting anybody that doesn't look like me, and that's unacceptable.
Katie, thank you so much for your time. Anything else, any message you have to anybody watching at home? We are live, so anything you have?
Get in your streets now. Get in your streets and get in them now. 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 It's been the time, but if you haven't been there, now is the time.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Katie. Absolutely. So again, guys, we are live out here in Biddeford, Maine, on the ground, just a couple blocks away from where Johann Sebastian Guerrero, 26-year-old father, husband, was murdered in cold blood by federal agents on the streets on Monday. And we're out here with the consistent protest that's taken place just, again, a couple blocks away from that location. We just talked to a local activist who is trying to organize more people to be out here. She's very, very upset with the federal government, with the local response. She channeled the history of Biddeford, actually, and me and John learned something new there. And when she said the community, the police department, the government officials all stood together to stop the KKK from crossing the very bridge that's behind us. And I feel like that's a very important context to the energy that this city has and the response that it does have. Because, again, this protest has been consistently happening. It might not be the largest protest you see. You know, we've covered protests with tens of thousands of people. It's the energy. It's what people are bringing to the protest that they have, no matter how big it is or no matter how small it is.
All right, so Mercado's going to go grab somebody else to interview. It's mostly locals here, but then again you have Jolly and Matt and some of the other veterans and content creators who they actually earlier today we recorded this. We're trying to get the footage up either later tonight or tomorrow. But they purchased about $1,000 worth of flowers from a local flower shop just on the block here, and brought it over to Johan's memorial over where he was killed. They explained why. Maybe we'll pull them aside so you could hear from them as to why they wanted to do that. But it looks like Mercado's got a local here. But don't forget, smash the like button, share this live stream, and support us being here on the ground. Go to statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5 a month. Thank you very much.
All right, so we have a local here. Would you mind providing your name?
Sure, my name is Megan.
Megan, you had told me that you are from this area.
Yeah, I lived here just a couple blocks from where Johan was murdered for probably 3 or 4 years, but from the state of Maine. Originally grew up in the state, yeah.
Did you ever think that this would come so close to home for you?
Never, no, never ever. Biddeford is such an amazing community, and it's very diverse, and this community would not be what it is if we didn't have that diversity. And the way that we look out for each other, I hope is evident by the outcome here, and it's just so tragic that we have to show it in this way.
Absolutely, and speak on that. What emotions are you feeling this week? Because obviously you're out here protesting, you're out here on the ground. What are your feelings around that?
A whole range, a lot of sadness, a lot of rage, just the injustice. I think is probably the biggest piece of wishing that we could do more than being out here in the streets, and I know that that's good, but this needs to make its way to the top, and change needs to happen.
Because you are from here, are you seeing anything from the local level, local response, government response, to what happened on Monday?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so kind of not related to this, but we've had this whole debacle with our Democratic Senate race, and I've seen a lot of the Democratic candidates that are now running stepping up and showing up in full force to help out with all of that, and we have some big decisions to make around all of that coming up.
We can wait for this. We can wait for the sirens. It's okay. It's no problem. We got a emergency vehicle driving past. Nothing related to the protest, you guys. So you were talking about the local response and what your expectations are.
Yeah, so we have this coming weekend in many counties voting on delegates who are going to be the ones able to vote for who our new Democratic nominee is going to be. And so that, I think we're all looking towards that for some really positive answers to come from that. And then, again, obviously in November. But yeah, I think I know I've read a couple statements from the mayor here in Biddeford, and I've been pleased with what I've seen from that, and just the outreach, the support, the meeting with the families one-on-one, that sort of thing. So I think on a very small local level, it's been there for sure, and we just need to get that to work its way up the chain.
Absolutely. And because you had mentioned you are a local resident here, one of the narratives that the Trump administration will say is that they're doing this to keep the community safe. Do you feel safe after what happened on Monday, or just in general with ICE presence?
No, that's complete bullshit. Anything but safe. I was driving down here tonight, and it was the first time I had come back into Biddeford since all of this had happened, and I immediately just felt this uneasiness come over me of just, if it's happened once, who's to say it's not going to happen again? And I don't know details right now. I don't know if anybody really does on the investigation and how much local law enforcement is involved, but I know there's been a call for them to be more heavily involved in the investigation and everything like that. But yeah, definitely a lot of uneasiness that I have felt coming back into the city here after, yeah.
What are you seeing from the local law enforcement around? What are you seeing from the local law enforcement around here?
Well, like I said, I don't currently live in Biddeford. I was living here, so I haven't been spending a whole lot of time right downtown and here in Biddeford. I know that historically they've had a pretty decent presence throughout the city, but I mean, even with them,
Right.
don't feel safe. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right, because we continue to see more of a militarized police force.
Exactly. Yes. 100%. It's, you see a cop pull up behind you on the road and it's immediate fear, like, oh, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? As opposed to them being there to protect us. I think it's a complete opposite. So, yeah.
One of the decisions that the Trump administration made was that they were no longer going to do traffic stops. Donald Trump announced this morning on his Truth Social that, no, we're going to continue traffic stops. What are your thoughts on that?
They're not trained law enforcement. They have zero training, in my opinion, and traffic stops, it's not even their realm of what they're even out here to do. So to me, they don't have any place just doing routine traffic stops. It's not for them.
Absolutely.
Instead of billions of dollars going to federal agents terrorizing communities, where would you like to see our taxes going to? Like, what would you like to see change?
That's a loaded question. I think there are so many groups and organizations that would benefit from that. Just because we are a nation built on immigrants, I think they would be ones that I would say for sure need the support. The LGBTQ community, which I am a part of, I think needs the support just for, we also have hardships that we face in life, and just homelessness, health care, housing, all of it.
I saw a lot of homeless and I know drug users on one street. It's in every city, of course, but we need housing and to get people help and resources. That's what will fix these issues. But instead of all this money is going towards terrorism.
Yeah, instead of the money going towards things that are the farthest thing from protecting us, we need the resources to allow us to feel safe and at home and have the means to have shelter and food and all of those basic human rights that we have. So
when the people are taken care of, the country does better, naturally. So, and we're not doing that. We're not taking care of, the government's not taking care of our people. And that's why, we're suffering.
it's definitely not a symbiotic relationship right now, that's for sure. So
When it comes to the government, a lot of people believe that this issue that we see with ICE agents can be voted out. Just simply voted out. What is your take on that? Do you feel it can be voted out? Do you feel it will require more from people like we see here, people protesting? Or do you feel like the federal government and opposition politicians to Trump should take more of a stand?
Definitely the latter. I think that there are, especially Democrats need to be standing up more vehemently with the position that they hold. People close to him, even Republicans, I think, we're talking about human lives here. We're not talking about it's just whether they're illegal or not. It's a human life, and it's not meant to be taken like that. I think as far as it being voted out, I do think that is a component of it, but I do think it's one component of a larger picture of how we're going to get it done.
Exactly, and it's unfortunate when we do see Democrats that are elected in office vote to fund ICE or vote alongside Republicans to continue ICE operations, or at the very least we get body cameras on ICE, etc. Do you feel that any of those policies would address the situation that just happened right up the street?
I think especially with body cams, it's not going to stop them from doing what they're going to do, but it will at least hold them accountable, or at least a step in the right direction of accountability, because you wouldn't be able to deny what we see with our own eyes.
And what does accountability for these ICE agents look like to you?
Imprisonment, loss of their jobs, loss of any sense of dignity to their name. We need to blast their names and faces so that they get no peace for them, ever.
Absolutely.
Just want to ask one more thing. What would your message be to MAGA, to Trump supporters, to people who are still supporting this?
I guess I would just ask you to think about if this was your own family. I think one of the greatest ways that we can practice empathy is by, putting ourselves in other people's shoes. If this was your brother, sister, daughter, son, cousin, whoever, would you not be standing in our position right now? We're talking, again, I said it before, but we're talking about human life. Doesn't matter where you come from, what you believe, what language you speak, the color of your skin. Like, this is human life, and it's not meant to be taken by another human. So,
One more time, your name?
my name's Meg.
Thank you, Meg, for your time. Thank you. So again, guys, we're live out here in Biddeford, Maine, on the scene, just a couple blocks away from where 26-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero was murdered in cold blood by ICE agents. There's an ongoing protest here, just, again, a couple blocks away, and we're talking to individuals that have decided to come out here and protest. I'm going to go and...
Can you see if that family... All right, guys. It's me again, John. Andrew's going to go see if the family wants to come over and talk. They have their daughter with them. Yeah, so the memorial is just a few blocks away. We're going to walk up there in a little while. But again, I'm going to remind you to share this, get this out there. Leave a super chat if you can. We're going to be here for a couple days, at least till Sunday. And then if we have to be back, come back, we will. But we're going to stay on this just like we always do. Because not many other outlets are doing it. So statuscoup.com/join. Sign up for as low as $5 a month. Keep us on the ground wherever we need to be. You see the sign over there that says, "That was your neighbor." So yeah, I think this, I haven't really checked the map. So I think this is really the only way in and out. Hold on. Yeah, this is the only bridge that comes into Biddeford here. At least from the north. Let me go see what this says. Let's see. Hey MAGA, hey ICE, white supremacy is a sickness. Get yourself checked. And a little pill bottle. I see people leaving flowers and candles, signs. Hey. Yeah.
Well, the wind blows it out again.
Talk about how do you feel about what happened? I mean, you're out here, you're lighting candles at this vigil.
It was hard. I live right up here on Pearson's Lane, 200 yards from my house.
So you heard everything?
I saw a lot of it too up there when I ran right up. No, he didn't deserve to die. Not at all. His little 3-year-old daughter.
Was she actually in the car, or did she get there?
No, she was in the back seat with a bluey outfit on and a bluey stuffed animal. Yeah.
Horrible.
I have little grandchildren. It's awful. You know, she watched her father's head get blown up. You know, get dragged out of the car, handcuffed while he was dead. What's this country coming to? You know?
Did you ever expect this would come here to your home, to your front doorstep?
No. You know what's really disappointing? Some people probably think this is really cool, but to me, it's awful. My daughter and I, we come here to protest all day, even in the evening. We were on CNN. I don't want to be on CNN. Oh, but this? No, no.
You know, I've traveled across the country. I've been in Chicago. I've been in Minneapolis, wherever ice brings its terror, and I've seen it. And you know, people never expect it to come to their their community,
Yeah.
and when it does, it really activates you. It changes you when you see it, when you experience it. What's your message to people who haven't experienced it?
We need more love. This hate, racism needs to go. You know, there's blood up there. You know? Mm-mm. This is Maine. Things like that don't happen here. But now we're part of it, along with them big cities. We shouldn't have been a part of it, you know?
Do you think this will activate more people to get involved and build a community network and get closer?
Yeah, I mean, we will, but Bedford's already close, you know? Look at all the,
Tell us about Bedford.
like, people, we all come together, like, there was hundreds of people here doing what any normal human being would do. Our heart really goes out to the little girl, Samara, and his wife or girlfriend. And even these people, like, we don't need ICE. We have police officers. They can handle it, you know? That man, he worked. He was a provider. And he didn't deserve what happened to him. He should be here. This shouldn't, you know? I have goosebumps, like, this is Maine. A little town, Biddeford in Maine. And then we have a killing up there just 200 yards from my house. No, something's wrong. Something's really wrong, you know? And all the people, though, they're great. You know, all the supporters, everybody, you know? Everybody that showed up the other day. Beautiful, beautiful. We spoke, you know, a lot of the elected officials came. We're having another one on Friday, 4 o'clock.
We'll be here for that. I'm going to be here throughout the week. Would you like to see more from elected officials?
Definitely. Susan Collins, we went to her office, but of course she ain't there. And she's always there for Trump, but not for Maine, you know? Where is she? She wasn't here. She didn't come down here and talk, you know? Bellows did. The other ones, you know, whoever come down, they did. Not her. She's all for Trump. That ain't helping Maine, you know? Maine shouldn't have ever been put in this position. We don't need ICE. Tell them to go away. And I'm sorry for saying this, but the ICE agents, they remind me of the Proud Boys.
You know, I was, keep that thought, okay? Because I have said, I was at January 6th at the Capitol. All right, I followed it. I saw what was coming. The insurrectionists, the people who stormed it, are now the ICE agents, and now the law enforcement. It's like reverse. It's crazy. But yes, that same mentality.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. I've said it for months. You know, they're little puppets under Trump.
Useful idiots.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it any better. You know.
What's your name?
Tammy.
Tammy?
Yeah, Tammy. Tammy.
Tammy.
No, Tammy. T-A.
Oh, Tammy.
Yep.
Tammy.
Yep.
I'm John.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Tammy.
Yeah.
We're with Status Coup, so we're gonna be here for the rest of the week. I'll see you around.
Okay.
I'll be here.
Thank you so
very
much.
much. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She was very quiet. I should have put it up. Were you able to hear the interview at all? Or no? Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think. All right. All right, guys. Sorry, Tammy was great, but she was very soft-spoken, and I should have raised the volume. So I apologize for that, because then when I give back to Andrew, he's gonna blast his voice. So I didn't want it to hurt your ears. Yeah. So Tammy was awesome. We'll definitely talk to Tammy a little more as we're gonna be here throughout the week. But like she said, I mean, it happened right outside her doorstep, and just horrible. I don't even know what to say. I have no thoughts. All right, guys. So again, you're not gonna hear voices like Tammy and Katie and the other woman, Meg. That we interviewed, but you're not going to hear them on CNN, on Fox, on MSNBC, on these other fucking shit networks. All right, so we are here on the ground with the people. All right, whether it's negative 20 degrees or 113 degrees, whether I got to drive 7 hours or fly 7 hours, marching in the streets, in the rain, in the snow, in anything, we're going to be out here with the people. That's what we do. And, share these voices. Get this out there, because this is reality. This is the truth on the ground. All right, and go to statuscoup.com/join. Sign up as a member. Keep us. We want to be everywhere we can. We want to expand. We want to grow the team, and be in multiple places at once. Right now it's tough for me and, a few of us just try and get around, but we need to expand, we need to grow. We need to get more people on the ground showing the truth. All right, here's Mercado again.
All right. So I tried to talk to a family before. They weren't comfortable. All right, so here we are with Alyssa and Gerard. You guys are both from here?
Yep.
Tell us what's going on. What are you seeing out here?
Just community showing up for a member of our community that was lost due to unqualified people running amok in our neighborhood due to Susan Collins. Thank you, Susan.
Basically piggybacking off what she's saying, it doesn't matter if you were born and raised here, been here for like 5 years like us, or just got here. If you call this home, this is your community, you're part of our family, So if you're going to work, whatever you contribute to everybody's quality of life. We all contribute in some way.
Yeah.
So.
Did you guys ever see this coming to Biddeford? Did you guys ever see this happening here?
Kinda. Just because.
Waiting for it to happen.
I mean, there was where, Susan Collins had, she had a conversation, whether it was with John Wayne Mullen or prior. I wasn't sure when they had it, where the catch of the day operation was kind of stamped out, but it was really never. It was just they went low key about it. You would just hear about raids happening around the neighborhood, and she works. She has HB1, was it the temporary, the 9 to 10 months employees that she works with that just disappearing. They have papers. This kid, he's got papers. He's documented. It's just unreal. There's no rhyme or reason. Even when they have a subject that they're after, they're still effing it up.
Right. And you had mentioned that you felt like catch of the day did not end.
Oh, catch of the day definitely didn't end. They were still in our community, parked on side streets, parked in parking lots. Anytime I saw them, I would raise awareness, know that they are out. They are not gone. They're still here. They're still for full force. And our senator is the one that's funding them. So
the nicer weather, there's more people out, a lot of job sites are outside. You're getting out, work around the house being done, whether it's the roof, the garden, or painting or whatever. And they can see who's on that site and whether or not they, should just kind of start asking questions or just raid and ask questions later, which seems to be the
nothing but
what's the
color.
word? Yeah, just the operating procedure for them.
One of the things we hear from the Trump administration is that they're targeting the worst of the worst in criminals.
The Trump administration is targeting anybody that's not fucking white. And if they try to tell you anything different, shame on them. We have a white supremacist White House, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to normalize this, and we, the people, are going to let it be known. This is not okay. This is not America. America's built on diversity, and that's what makes America go round.
Agree with that. You know, that's one thing in terms of him, the way he is, and being racist and all that. But is it for going after the worst, the numbers just don't back it up. Any kind of operation they've had anywhere around the country, when they do the numbers after it, it's like basically maybe 10% of the total that they got even had any kind of violation, never mind being violent or not.
Exactly.
You know.
Who is it that he's trying to go after? The rapist, the felons?
Right.
Has he looked in the mirror? Let that be the question we ask ourselves.
And also, one of the things that he had mentioned was that they were going to reverse the stopping vehicles in the road. What do you? And they also said that.
Taco about it.
Yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, taco.
Yeah.
He's such a taco that Trump always chickens out.
Yeah.
So.
He's just talking tough again. He's just playing to his base, just, you know, saying all the dog whistle words, and that it's just, even Holman was on the news saying how it's just going to be a temporary, and it pretty much is. It probably will be. Like, I mean, like this kid, like guy killed this kid and probably went out for lunch later on that day. You know, I don't.
We don't know.
The point is nothing's being done. Like there was no real investigation being done. That it wasn't even properly like taped off as appropriately for a crime scene. I mean, I'm not even in like the criminal field. It's just the whole thing, like the blood that was left on the street. How is that? If it was properly, you know, marked off as a crime scene, that should not be still sitting there. It's just like, let's sweep everything under the rug real quick, make it look, we'll set up some tents, make it look like we're doing something legit, everybody with their 3 letters on the back of their jackets, show up, and then they just figure in a few days it's gone from the news cycle.
Like it's going to be like a quick thing, then they could just sweep it under the rug, which we've seen in other cities. We've seen in Minneapolis.
Like it's never happened. We're got to keep making it known. It's happening. It's continuing to happen.
With these cover-ups, the federal government will say that, well, we're doing this to keep the community safe. Is this making the community safe?
I've never felt more unsafe in my entire life with the way that this administration has these operations going. I'm fearful for my community, for my friends, for family members, for anybody that's not us. I'm scared for us too, because who knows what can happen.
Exactly, especially because
You're saying about the cover-up, it's clearly they knew that there was going to be no video, or there was going to be video showing that story is not going to like hold water. So it came up with it was going to flee the scene, was a safety, you know, public safety. They created a public safety hazard and then you don't even like try to shoot him in the shoulder or anything. Like there's 2 shots at his face.
Yeah.
2 point like he was trying to kill him. Like it's
with the child.
yeah, they don't care about anything. It's all about their ego and them just being able to live out their hate.
It's about them being able to put on a show for their followers. Instead of making it known, this is actually terrible what is happening. It's not okay.
All I can say is there's no statutory for any of these. Like there'll be hopefully a new Department of Justice in like 2.5 years or less, and there should be. And you know, we'll see. It's just a matter of hopefully we can preserve the evidence because some of these guys are gonna walk. It's just, especially like the first 2, Preddy and Good. Those guys like they're probably gonna walk and. Maybe I heard that like DHS actually released something today, like basically admitting that they kind of basically murdered him today. I didn't see it yet, but I heard that was. Yeah, I saw a post that I couldn't like read it, but there was something released by them this afternoon. So
Yeah, we'll do some follow up on that. What are you hoping though? Like obviously that you're kind of relaying what real world scenario, but what are you hoping for accountability for these federal officers?
just there's got to be some kind of change. Like, I mean, the Republican Party, like, you know, I grew up in the Northeast, but basically always voting for Democrats, but I was never, you know, the Democratic Party kind of changed. I started, like, I was voting for whoever was for best. I even voted for Trump the first time because I thought he was like an agent of change of some kind of way. And then, you know, clearly it didn't take long to figure out he's just full of shit and basically a criminal, a fraud, a total con man. And I mean, it's just with a third degree vocabulary, it's so painful to listen to him talk and tell me how everything's going to be so great, hugely. Like, anyways, for accountability, I just don't see any of that really happening, but except for maybe after the elections in the fall, we should be able to get the House. But we really need the Senate to be able to, especially with judge nominations, and to be able to just kind of, you know, our country has a history of
back.
Every time we do a step forward, we kind of take 2 steps back, and so hopefully, you know, it'll swing back the other way.
If you're hoping for Democrats to take the House back and have some power back in the government, what are you hoping from the Democratic Party to address what took place here on Monday and beyond?
I don't necessarily hope for Democrats. I just know that Democrats are the only ones that are going to actually do something. So I hope for Democrats to win so that there can be some kind of accountability. What I want is just people that are going to do the right thing. Like, it doesn't matter if it's an R or a D. It's just like have some integrity, have some character. Just, I mean, I'm used to like politicians like basically lying to us all the time, but you couldn't ever prove it. Nowadays, they're just flat out lying to your face. Exactly. Like, I just saw the same video. You're friggin' just flat out either saying you didn't really see it. Well, did you see it or didn't you see it? Because either way, you're full of shit.
Exactly. Like if we're able to see it at our level, the higher elites are watching it too.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the Speaker of the House, what was it, yesterday, Mike Johnson saying he hadn't seen anything, hadn't been briefed about.
He says that all the time.
I mean, mock him. It's just like, he's a clown. Yeah. So it's easy to mock him, and he's just a puppet, and it's just, his day will come. All of them, in terms of like, he had that speech where he was saying they're going to come after all of, well, yeah, a lot of you are breaking laws. Yeah. A lot of you are complicit in a lot of this shit. So should some of you, I mean, hopefully a lot of you just retire and go away, but because if you don't, when the Democrats do get power, I hope they come after them. There's got to be some accountability. The accountability that should have happened if the AG, what the hell is his name? Friggin' the other sleepy guy.
Here in Maine?
No, Bedford's Attorney General. He just like, it took forever, and then we ran out of time, even though we didn't really, but if things, you know, there was never any accountability in 23, 24 for the crimes that other people that were going to testify in this court case to basically save their own skin. You know, so who knows if that'll actually ever happen, but I don't know.
They all need to be held accountable.
Some of it is like, yeah, there could be statute of limitation on with the Trump thing, but some of the other Republicans, I don't know.
And the amount of resources that are spent towards this too, right? And how much funding that goes into militarized federal agents, wars in the Middle East, you know, it all kind of is connected. And then, you know, we don't have funding for our communities.
Trump thinks he has like a blank check. Like, I mean, or like he can just write like spend money like. If the phone hadn't been fixed in a long time, maybe it was because there was other more important shit that needs to be taken care of. Right. Like if everything was all hunky-dory, we all got like nobody's like everybody's like cost of living's okay, health insurance is not an issue, right. And you want to splurge? Yeah. By all fucking means, right. Especially for the $250. Why not? I want to look good too. Yeah. But like, when you're taking away all this from Americans, all, you know, we're supposed to be like the best country in the world, yet we have all these people that are living under the poverty line, or even that aren't on the poverty line that can't even afford health care. That it's just kind of, it's just laughable that we're even in this situation, and the Republicans are trying to say that they're looking out for us, and I just don't, there's just like, I was saying to her, like, I would vote for a Republican if I thought they would do something. You know, or like if they stood for stuff that, like in terms of policy things, you know, more like towards the center, like center right or center left, either or, that's where I'm at. If I had someone that I thought would do the right and like, you know, like say I didn't agree with the Democrat one, then, but it's just they have absolutely
It's
no
beyond.
backbone left.
What would you're a former Trump supporter. What would your message?
Trump supporter. It was about 2 years before I hit rock bottom on booze, so I was an angry man as well.
What would you say to MAGA people who are still supporting this, who haven't seen the light yet?
It's so hard because most of them are in their own silos, and they either and also it's like almost a family. You can say it's a cult, or it's definitely cultish for sure. But when everybody in your community's in the same fucking cult, it's kind of hard to be like, well, if I'm in a cult, everybody's in a cult. Yeah, no shit, you're all in a cult. But especially if you can't call be honest about what you're seeing happening right in front of you, and it's just the same kind of talking points of just distraction, dismissal, and just victim blaming all the time, and it's the American people, unfortunately. Americans, I would say, are not dumb people, but as a whole, we kind of stupid. We're uneducated, we're not involved, and so it's not we're stupid. We're just we're not informed. Right. And there's a lot of people nowadays getting information all kinds of ways. You don't know what's legit or not, and it's getting worse. I feel like America's getting dumber.
I just want to say that's all by design too. By the people in power to make us dumb and just make us robots and comply and just do what they say. Don't think, just do. And and we have a lot of distractions, sports and entertainment, and a lot of propaganda. What we see on TV and what we've been fed in schools. So all of that is by design, and this has been done for years now. And leading up until this point where they needed useful idiots, and they got them now.
Oh, yeah.
Trump loves his supporters being dumb. He said so himself. Granted, he doesn't know how to spell the word dumb, but he calls everybody dumb. And
ironically, I have a feeling Trump might end up being the best thing that ever happened for the Democratic Party, to kind of bring them back to their roots of sticking up for the working man, and just about the kitchen table topics, and that's what's most important. The fringe stuff, that's to your own community. Let everybody live and let live. Let whatever goes on, whatever your rules. If everybody doesn't like something, then I wouldn't want to live there. But if they're okay with it, people that aren't, they can move. But it's whatever. We're not a perfect democracy. There's going to be pockets of this country where there's just infested with hatred, where we are not the majority like we are here. So.
It's really kind of bringing us back from the extremes that we're in right now, and Donald Trump has fed into that. He's also lied to us, right? He's lied.
All he does is lie. The man doesn't know how to tell the truth. I don't think he's gone a day in his life where he hasn't spewed one lie, and now it just gets worse and worse. Everything he says, you cannot trust at all. It's sad.
He's a fearmonger. He just pigeonholes us for Democrats are all now we're communists, and we all want trans kids in be mutilated, and then in kids sports. That's another whole other subject, but my point is that they're just saying that's what we're all that's what we want, whereas most of the country's somewhere in the middle about it, and life's not fair. Life's hard. It could actually be a teaching opportunity for your daughter, if you ended up coming in second or third place to it. Most of it likely, he's not a friggin' probably a professional athlete that you lost to. So, fucking suck it up.
Right. It seems like they mashed together all of these culture war issues into one.
Republicans used to say, we're the party of friggin' participation trophies, and everybody gets a friggin' ribbon. But now, friggin', because their kid, friggin', didn't get third place in a friggin' event, friggin', it's just, I don't know.
It's kind of like, how they will accuse Democrats of wanting DEI and all this, but yet, they will lose or, whatever, and then they demand that they are the best, or they need to be the best even if they necessarily aren't.
The team just needs to go. It's absolutely disgusting what is happening, and enough is enough. We the people want you out. We're not going to live our life in fear, and we're going to keep showing up for our neighbors. Donald Trump, get the fuck out of our White House. Susan Collins, get out of our city. We, the people, have had fucking enough. We're going to keep showing up.
DEI isn't like racist, like per se. Like I mean, everybody has their own opinions. Obviously, what I'm saying is what the hell was I going to say? Is that it's not racist. White people say that it's anti-racist, that it's racist against whites because we're not getting jobs that we're supposed to get to. No. DEI works because friggin' the unqualified white people aren't getting the jobs that a person of color friggin' that was more qualified should have got but didn't get because they weren't interviewed or their interview was dismissed out of hand. You know? So, that's, I don't know.
I just want to say, they're making everybody afraid. Oh, they're coming for your jobs. But AI is coming for their jobs anyway. AI, drones, robots.
I'm going to tell you right now, the Guatemalans, man, nobody roosts and sides like these guys. I mean, I have a group of guys who work with me that are Guatemalan, man, and these guys are the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. I mean, I'm talking about, and you know what? And I pay them just as much as white people, but the thing about it is they get the job done. And it is quality, and they're here legally. They're not, you know what I mean? Just like that guy. They're like, oh, he has a Social Security number. He's paying taxes. He's like going to work every single morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Right. I mean, it's not like okay, he's an illegal. How is he an illegal? Because he's not an American citizen, and I guess that's what they're trying to do with this. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is that he is here legally. This guy who was just killed, he was here legally, right? But everyone's saying, oh, he's an illegal, right? You know, and like I said, I love the Spanish people who are here working. They're just hardworking, good people.
Oh yeah, family oriented.
Whatever, you know, and people are like, oh, I can see the evil in his eyes. You can see the evil in that. You can see the evil in that man's eyes who was just shot down with his kid in the car. I mean, like they didn't even care whether or not maybe the bullet might have hit the kid. And for what? You know what? And you know what? The thing is that he did not try to run them down, but maybe he didn't listen to them, and maybe he did. He said he tried.
If masked men are chasing me down, trying to ram my car, I am not stopped. I got my kid. I'm not.
We haven't seen it. He said I tried to stop. That was the last audio he said. We have not seen the video footage of this. There's a very good possibility. And now they've changed the story from, he was trying to assault me. Now they're saying they killed him because he was trying to protect the public. Oh, really? Because you don't think this guy knows how to drive? If you know what I mean? But I don't even believe he was leaving the scene. You know, it's all propaganda. You know what I mean? You know what? I can't say it's all propaganda. It sounds like propaganda. That's it. You know,
I'll tell you, we've been in Chicago, we've been in Minneapolis. We've documented, we've seen their lies, we've reported on their lies. It is always like
I'm not going to sit here and say it's all, and I don't want to be one of these lefties because I'm not a lefty. I'm a centrist. I'm an independent. I'm not far left. I'm certainly not far right, but there are times where I vote Republican in the past, but MAGA has taken over the Republican movement. You know, the Republican movement was one thing. It was small. It was small interference with the powers that be in government. Small government. That's what Republicans were, and supposedly fiscally responsible. Now all of a sudden it's just like, my God, you know what I mean? It's just, look, ICE has what, $60 billion, higher than the Marines. ICE is, and they can't give body cams.
Exactly, all that money, and what are they spending it on? It's they're not spending it on training.
Look, don't even go there. And look, I'm not going to go with the obviousness of the bloodthirst, but what I am surprised is that you get a lot of people here, you know, with the main wire and even, you know, the Portland Press Herald talking about people from the left, and it's really not. It's the centrists. It's people who really just don't want to see the Fourth Amendment. Look, there's no way if you are a police officer you can pull somebody over unless they've, you know, done something, unless they have a light out in their car or anything like that. You as an ICE agent should not be pulling people over because of the Fourth Amendment. You're not allowed to pull people over. See, the Fourth Amendment makes it so that the only way that you can come in contact with a person that you're getting ready to arrest or to detain has had to commit a crime. So for you to actually think that, like, you could be driving behind somebody and say that you need to detain them, you can't. You're not allowed to because of the Fourth Amendment. So the problem is, it's not about left or right. Look, I like Asians and I like what do you call Spanish people and Muslims and all this stuff. But it's a self-perseverance that I'm talking about. If we allow the government and the agencies of law enforcement to no longer adhere to the Fourth Amendment, then what we're doing is we're cutting our own balls off. White Americans don't realize that they're the ones who are cutting their own balls off. This is not a partisan issue. No, this is not. This is if you can pull somebody over and you can walk up to somebody at a Home Depot and you can just walk up to anyone anywhere and ask for their ID and detain them, you can't do it because it's unconstitutional, right? The ICE agencies should not be held to any different standard than regular law enforcement. We all live in the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution of the United States of America is very clear. You cannot go above and beyond that. This is not a partisan issue, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely right. It's not, and that's frequently brought up from, like, you know, you mentioned a couple other media types or people that are out here, and they like to stoke the flames of it. They like to stoke the flames of the situation instead of just being real about it and saying we're giving so much money to these federal agents and they're able to go do whatever the hell they want.
Look, it's actually funny. Barack Obama actually detained and arrested twice as many people as Donald Trump. And the difference between Donald Trump is they actually stuck and they were deported. But Donald Trump's, most of them are, you know, just like let go. No, they're let go. Like if they once they go to court, they're let go because they're actually bullshit. Yeah. They're not even fucking. Look at the little baby boy. Remember the baby boy with the fucking blue thing and all that shit? They ended up fucking returning his dad, but he got stuck in fucking Texas. Right? I mean, you know, it was an unlawful detainment. I mean, look, Barack Obama, what he did is he said, all right, let's look at the people with legal visas, and then we'll see the people who are expired. And so then we'll also look at the ones who are expired, and they also have criminal activity. So before they even went out to go detain anyone, they already knew who they were, where they lived, and all they did is just go to their house and detain them. They certainly weren't sitting at a fucking Home Depot looking for brown people, because that's against the Fourth Amendment. I mean, it's not that hard. All you have to do is like do a little. I mean, if I wanted to, as a regular citizen, I could figure out all the people that I live around who are on false, like expired work visas. Which, by the way, that man who just got killed, he was not expired. Right. Although he is expired now. Right. But he was, you know, but he wasn't. But if you wanted to really go look at all the people, it would be very simple, and then you could just go to their houses and do it. But there's no way that you should be lawfully allowed to go to Home Depot and look at people like you. Like, I don't even know what your race is, but you don't look totally white. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might get detained.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely something to worry about.
I mean, he might. I mean, he looks a little like, I don't know, a little.
Yeah.
I can't tell if he's a Israeli or a fucking Paki. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Right.
Especially like in Minneapolis, we were seeing them going from door to door, just like knocking on doors, like door knocking.
No, you can't. Look, the bottom line is you need to abide by the Fourth Amendment. It's so important. And if we allow any agency to go beyond that, what we're doing is we're signing away our own rights. And now this guy's talking about getting rid of habeas corpus. When the president of the United States tells you that he wants to get rid of habeas corpus, it's time to pay attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to give your name? No more name? Just your first
Yeah, my name's Herb McGilvray.
Herb, thank you so much, bud. From here?
Yeah, I live, in Saco. Like, not too close, not too far away, Like, I'm going to go eat my sushi.
Definitely, yeah, go get your food, buddy. Thank you so much for
brother.
your time, man. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Again, guys, we're live out here. Status Coup News and Midas Touch Network. We're here on the ground in Biddeford, Maine, as 26-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero was murdered in cold blood on Monday, just right up the block from here. We're on the scene here talking to an ongoing protest that started immediately after and is continuing here through Wednesday. We're going to be here all week. There's a big protest planned on Friday and Saturday. Saturday's a national day of protest, and Status Coup News will be out here live on the ground covering that all day long. And I just, again, want to reiterate, you guys, we are literally the only news platform standing here talking to people. We are the only independent media platform, well, independent or mainstream, whatever. There is no other news out here covering what's happening, okay, guys? Status Coup News has been covering this story from day one. They've been covering it from day one. Okay, guys, I just kind of joined the team. I'm from Mercado Media, and it's so glad to be here with Status Coup and actually report on this amazing platform. But we've been on the ground from day one, as soon as Trump took power, covering this ICE terror across the country from the West Coast to the East Coast, from the entire country. So if you guys could support statuscoup.com/join for less than $5 a month, you can support independent media. Please do so. Please go to the link, check us out, support independent media. It literally keeps us on the ground. Okay, we would rather do nothing else. We don't want to go and just hang out. We don't want to just go and we come out here and we interview people. We get you guys the story. You've seen us tear gassed. You've seen us flashbang. We're getting hit with munitions. We're getting stalked. John Farina behind the camera nearly lost a finger this winter. So it really helps keep us on the ground, telling the story that you guys want to hear, and I do appreciate all the support for independent media. And also, just make sure you subscribe. Okay, another thing is to support, but also just subscribe, hit the like button, make sure you just engage with the social media aspect of it, and I'd appreciate that very much. John's getting ready for an interview. How you doing? Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Are you okay to do an interview, or are you from here?
I am. Yeah, I live right up the street.
Wow. Let's chat for sure. For sure. All right. So we'll just make sure we're in the camera. We're trying to have a double team. So for the camera, say your name again, buddy.
My name's Noah Bernier.
Noah, and you said you're from here.
I'm from Biddeford. Yep.
What are your thoughts? Right. We're all here. There's Biddeford, national story. Now here we are in Biddeford.
It's disgusting, and I think that it's hard for people to have empathy when it doesn't happen in their neighborhood, and we've seen it happen in places like Minneapolis, and with bigger cities like that, I feel like it's I feel like it's kind of harder to separate, like when you live in like small town America,
right.
And then you don't ever think that it can happen right outside, but we've been calling for something to be done about ICE, especially in this city, for a very long time now. Since they had boots on the ground, and this is just another failure of local government for sure.
And speak on that, because you had Operation Catch of the Day in January. Does it feel like that operation has ended? Because here we are in July, and you just had another ICE murder just up the street.
Yeah, and they told us that it was over. They told us that to essentially just carry on. And clearly, like, we've been seeing like unmarked cars like without estate plates like around here for like a while, And this is just, we knew that their presence was still here. It was still felt.
Right.
You know, like the terror that they tried to ensue in the town, like, you know, earlier on in the year, was certainly still felt. And I mean, this is just, again, it's a horrible tragedy that's befallen upon the community.
Definitely. And what are you hearing from local officials? Have they came out and talked to you, or have they talked to anybody out here giving updates on an investigation or anything?
Certainly not the people out here doing like groundwork. We've gotten some updates from the mayor. We've gotten some updates from Senator Collins, and it seems like honestly, for lack of a better term, it's like a piss poor excuse for what's going on. It's a terrible explanation.
What have you heard from them? Can you say what have you heard from the mayor and then from?
People are calling for like a full investigation, which kind of seems like a non-answer. People are, you know, giving us their thoughts and prayers. We should be calling for action on this. You know, I don't know what else has to happen for that to happen, but 100%, no, they're really just, I don't know, they're being rather nonpartisan about something that, you know, is a completely politically fueled issue.
Yeah. And what do you hope to see? Like, what are you hoping for, like, from the government, from either the local, state, federal level that can try to hold this accountable at all? What are you hoping for?
Change, like 100%. That's why everyone's out here today. You know, that's why everybody's doing what they're doing, is because, you know, we want change. And I mean, just based on the reactions that we're getting from people out here, it's like, I don't know what the media has been showing people, but there's a whole lot of support out here, and people just want the same thing. They want something. They want ICE out. They want, you know, immigrants to feel safe again. You know, we're all a part of a community. We all help each other. We all pay taxes. We all love each other. And it's like, we shouldn't have to, you know, we shouldn't have to be double locking our doors at night to feel safe. Like, we should all really feel that sense of community. So we need, we need to abolish ICE 100%. Like, in this area, this is like one of the safest places to be in the country. And I think that ICE was brought out here because our governor had gone against Trump, and you know, they knew that we had some strong feelings about the current administration. So the gotcha was that they sent ICE out here, and now they're murdering us.
Exactly. And when it happens so close to home, like you mentioned, like we had it in Minneapolis, Chicago, Los Angeles, major cities, and it does feel like he's targeting like Democratic administrations or governors or officials. You know, what are you hoping coming up here in the elections? You know, there's a big election here in Maine, Senate race, but also, you know, there's a midterm election. So what are you hoping for when it comes to those elections?
We need the seats. We really do. Like I said, a lot of people here want to invoke that change, and if our senators aren't voting for us the way that they should be, then we need to put somebody in that will. Like, you know, people that can actually read the room. I mean, if they visited Biddeford right now, they would see like the outcry of support that people have for the change that people are trying to invoke. So we need senators that are going to actually be voting for the people. That's what we 100% want to see.
What do you feel like they're not out here? Why do you feel like you're not seeing them on the ground? Governor Mills, I think, went up to the vigil earlier today. But beyond that, have you really seen anyone come out here to be here?
No, 100% not directly. We'll see them in passing, like maybe when things die down earlier on in the day, later on in the day. Never when there's action going on. I think it's because they know they're going to be bombarded with these questions, and they're not going to have answers to them. There's a video of the situation you were just speaking of where Governor Mills was in the car not answering questions. Windows open, not answering questions. Simple questions, you know, and just not answering, giving us non-answers. And so we can't have that. They work for the people. They're supposed to be speaking out on behalf of us. They should be just as enraged, if not more enraged. These are their constituents. These are the people that they're sworn to protect and, you know, and govern. It's horrible. It really is.
If you were up there when Janet Mills had came through, what questions would you have asked her, or what would you have said to her?
Why haven't we done more to stop this? Why haven't we, like, where's the outspokenness that we were promised? Why are you not, like, I feel like we all have the same ideas. Like, based on just what happened right now, it's like we all know that shouldn't have happened. And I don't care what side you're on, that shouldn't have happened. Like, you have a gentleman that, you know, was supposed to be here, was allowed to be here, had a social security number, had a work permit, was murdered in front of his child. It's like, that's completely unacceptable. And it's like, it's genuinely, I've lived in some pretty bad places, and this is one of the nicest places I've ever lived. That's the worst thing that's ever happened anywhere that I've lived. It's horrible. More people need to be mad about this. And I think that Governor Mills, you know, in specific, is just not, she's giving very much so non-answers. Oh, I'd like to see something done about this. I'm calling for this. No, call for action. Call for something to be done about this. What's it going to take for you to make that call?
Or at least be present too, like very least. Like that's what we were demanding in Minneapolis. Like Tim Walz and Mayor Fry would just say "fuck ICE," but not really do much else. Right. And is it similar to what you're seeing here, like just kind of statements and just no action, huh?
100%. And when they do, it feels very very much like a PR stunt.
Yeah.
Like Janet Mills, her whole thing was she was going to visit the memorial. And it seemed very much so like she was just showing face to show that she was there. She got out and she got back in her car and then they left. Be there with the people, mourn with these people. We're all in mourning. Yeah. This is a member of our community. This was our neighbor. So be there for us, you know what I mean? Show support to the families, you know what I mean? Show people how they can make donations and like just keep trying to do good. And that's not what they're doing. They're just showing face.
Speak on that a little bit. What are you hearing from other members of the community, or even do you know the family at all?
I don't know the family personally, no. I've heard a lot about the family. I know that they're very rightfully so fearful. There are a lot of groups right now, some great groups that they have based in Maine, where they're trying to just keep them safe, make them feel protected and loved. I think that's the best thing that we can be doing for them. I have a small child myself. I can't imagine what it's like. It's just honestly, everyone here has a heavy heart, and the people themselves, not the politicians, not the senators, the governors, the people themselves. There's just an outcry. Like people are pouring their hearts out here, and that's why we're here. And I mean, yeah, occasionally we'll get screamed at on the street. Yeah. These are people who are ignorant of the situation. And I think that love's going to heal the world. I think if they just listen to these people and actually listen to their stances, and when they can stop, listening to what Trump is telling them to feel, and when they can start forming their own opinions, that's when we can actually, come together and figure out how to fight this. Because
it does feel like that. It feels like people are in their information silos. They kind of just hear what they're told by Trump, right, and then they go off of what he says. So one of the things he said this morning was that he was reversing that ICE can continue traffic stops again, because it's it'll help public safety. Like just like ICE said that through their third narrative that they had to kill Johann Sebastian Guerrero for public safety. Do you feel that the actions of this administration and ICE agents are helping public safety?
No, not one bit. It's fear-mongering at its finest. It comes straight from Fox Entertainment. Yeah. It's like they're fear-mongering people. They want you to be afraid of your neighbors. They want you to be afraid of immigrants. They don't want you to know that it's the rich on top pulling all the strings. It's always rich versus poor, and we've heard that many times, but it's a cliche for a reason. It's rich versus poor, and right now you have the poor people fighting each other, and so they win. They're on top. They're not doing anything to help us. They're not out here. They don't have their boots on the ground. They're sending their Gestapo out here to terrorize us. That's what they're doing. People are, we can never be afraid to speak out. Like, we have to always speak out, no matter the outcome, for our future generations.
Definitely. And then what do you have to say to anyone watching at home? Like, you're out here on the ground. People might be a little intimidated, a little nervous because the government's trying to hit people with lawsuits or try to put them through a court case. You're out here. What's your message to people watching at home?
Stay on the right side of history. When your grandchildren are going to learn about this in school, there's going to be two sides to the story. Be on the right side of history. Be on the side that's fighting for freedom and justice for everybody. Don't ever fear speaking out, no matter the outcome. I'd rather die living my truth than be a coward living a lie. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely. Hey, one more time, buddy. What's your name?
My name's Noah.
Noah, thank you so much for your time, buddy. Appreciate you. Cool. Yeah.
We're just gonna wrap up in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I know you're moving on, but give me.
I would love to have you, man. I'd love to.
I interviewed with all 5 stations yesterday. I witnessed things. I'm not going to get into that.
For sure.
I'm a veteran. I live here. Live right up the. Thank you. My big beef in our police department, Biddeford, Saco, secured the scene. Yeah. I'm not in law enforcement, but I was medical in the Navy. So real quickly, they did everything right. And then all the protesters showed up. They march up, tie up our city for 45 minutes. Police did a phenomenal job. They're banging on Susan Collins' door. The staff's up there. Susan's in Washington. She made a statement. Angus made a statement. Mm-hmm. They feared for their lives. Our police chief Joanne, phenomenal.
You think he's doing a good job in response to what happened?
They did everything right. Biddeford Saco were on the scene first. State police showed up, and then the FBI came in. And, yeah, it was an ugly scene up there, and it tied up our city, but all the protesters come out. It's their right. I gave them that right. Served my country. Yeah, 11 years, Navy, Desert Storm, go all the way back to Vietnam, involved very much with the veterans. I was worried about tonight. I bring my granddaughter down here. I didn't bring her down here tonight. And I said, my only beef with all you guys, don't cause any problems. You already tied up our city. The big thing is, and like this woman over there, fuck ICE. I don't want my grandchildren and my children to see that. That's all. That was my beef. That's all.
So you support their right to free speech and their First Amendment rights?
I do too. I fought for that.
Of course.
Yeah. Right or wrong. Wait for the investigation to come over. It's all politics, liberals, everything, whatever. I got 4 death threats yesterday. I said, take down the fucking signs. I bring my children down here. I live here. I'm a taxpayer.
You lived here your whole life, sir?
No. Boston. I'm actually South Boston, my thing, and then 20 years in all the Boston hospitals and served in the military. Right. And I'm just saying, and you go up and bang on a senator's door and you terrorize people. Our police department, that's what I want to say. They did a phenomenal job. Wait for all the facts to come out, okay? And they got masks on. I said, why are you wearing a mask? It's your right to protest. It's your right to do that. However,
how are ways you would see, like, say you had an issue and you wanted to protest, or you wanted to raise your voice? How would you?
Well, I wouldn't wear a mask and exercise my rights, but I'm not gonna do obscenities and obstruct other people's business in the town. I'm a very intelligent guy, and like I said, I went on all 5 networks yesterday, and I said the same thing. And we kind of have this sucks what happened. Everybody's upset about it. He was apparently legal and that, and I had a friend that witnessed the whole thing and wouldn't go on camera with the shots and the bodies and everything. But our city, Biddeford, Saco, State Police, FBI, did everything right. And then they all showed up, and you got no right, I guess. Do they have a right to go up to a senator's office, bang on the door? I guess they think they do. And wear a mask and hide.
It could be like the emotions and the anger, because this is like something we've seen across the country.
Same thing. It happened in Houston last week, and I get it all. And even now, Trump said last week, I am a Trump supporter, but they stopped the traffic stops and he restarted it. And the Minnesota thing, we don't want Minnesota here. You know what I mean? I got it. And but exercise your rights, protest peacefully. That's all. Wait for the facts to come out. And things haven't been good for ICE. I agree. I'm not an ICE agent. I was military and then a thing, and I'm an intelligent. But I don't want to bring I told Joanne, I don't want to bring my daughter down here every Wednesday night. I live right there. I didn't bring her down tonight. I don't want to see the fuck ICE songs.
Yeah, it's people using their voice in different ways, different levels of it, right?
their First Amendment.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, sir, also, you mentioned you were a veteran, and you also said you don't really support ICE. You mentioned you support the local police, and
I don't know if I don't like a lot of things that's going on, but there are investigations and criminal justice, and I worked that too when I got out of the military. Our police officers, our firefighters, Saco police, they did everything right. They secured the perimeter, they did it. Investigation, it's going to come out. Wait, they all showed up at 12, tied up our city, and then they come down here, and I had 4 death threats. But that's all right. I said, bring it on. I'm 71.
all right, what's your name again, sir?
Kevin Locke, sir.
Thank you for your time and thank you for your service.
Got it.
All right. All right.
Hey, let me get the mic. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're gonna head up to the memorial where Johan, right? Johan was killed. But please smash the like button, share this live stream, and thank you to the viewers at Midas Touch for watching. If you appreciate the work we are doing here at Status Coup, and you want us to continue this work as the leading independent outlet in the country covering this deadly fascism on the ground, all right, keep us on the ground. We reported on this ICE terror in LA, New York City, New Jersey, Chicago, Minneapolis, North Carolina, Miami, everywhere. And we can't do this without your support. So if you can, sign up now, statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5 a month. Leave a super chat. Let us know that you appreciate us doing this work. Like I said, no matter if it's -20, no matter if it's 113 degrees, if it's snowing, if it's raining, we will be out here with the people, giving them the microphone so you could hear what they have to say, because you're not going to get that from the other outlets. All right, let's go up to the memorial.
Another thing too is how much work that goes into, like in Minneapolis, guys, when we were there covering Operation Metro Surge, they were out, me and John would just sit in the truck, and there might not have been anything to cover at the time, but it's just, being there, the people that were out there, and it's a lot of time and hours, and it's a lot of effort, a lot of things that you guys don't see on the camera that are behind the scenes. So it's really appreciated for you guys supporting independent media and also trusting independent media, because honestly, none of us can trust mainstream news. So we're going to go up to the vigil site on Hill Street and Poole Street. It's just up the road from this protest location. Me and John were up here earlier when activists Jolly Good Ginger, USMC Angry Vet Matt, Alex Casio, and Amanda from Cats on a Couch, which it was her idea, and they spent $1,000 worth of flowers and brought those flowers from a local florist to the vigil site, because they felt that the vigil that was there just didn't have enough flowers, didn't have enough from similar vigils we have seen in Minneapolis with Renee Good, with Alex Pretty, and in many other cities. We see more of a presence at them. Like when Renee Good was murdered, that vigil stretched out halfway into the street. The city police, Minneapolis police, had to actually block off part of the road, so that way the protest could continue. And actually, we were out there all night, the very night that Renee Good was killed. I didn't get home from South Minneapolis until about 3 in the morning that night, because we were out there with the protest and the amount of people that were bringing things to the vigil site. And even with Alex Pretty too, we were at Nicollet marching and reporting on the scene for hours and hours, and the vigil site is still there. It's still there. You still have the rest in power sign. You know, I'm just thinking about it. And again, I'm from Minnesota, so this is very close to home for me, remembering all of that. But a lot of the vigil sites that we see have a lot of flowers at them. So Jolly Good Ginger, Amanda, Cats on the Couch, wanted to pay their own respects to it and also just kind of provide something to the community here in Biddeford. I need some water. I'm gonna drink a sip of water here, chat. I will say it is an honor to be here holding the microphone for Status Coup News. It's really weird doing this without reading the chat, because on Mercado Media, I do read the chat and try to respond to comments in real time. But maybe when we get up there, I will. Maybe shout out some people on Status Coup and Midas Touch. Let's see who's over here on Status Coup News. We got like a big hill to climb, y'all. Hey, shout out what city, what state, where in the world you guys are tuned in from. We got like a worldwide audience on Status Coup News, Midas Touch Network. I do have the chat open, so I will read. Hill Street and Bacon Street, just down the road from the vigil.
The street where he was killed is Pool Street. Oh yeah, Pool Street and Hill Street, right on the corner.
Some hill walking here. What up, Vegas? We got Wisconsin tuned in. We got Biddeford, Maine tuned in. Welcome, Biddeford. Thank you so much for trusting Status Coup News and independent media here in your home city to provide the honest truth. Thank you. We got Ohio, BC, Canada. We got Maryland tuned in, Ohio, Twin Cities. Hello, Texas, South Australia. I'm seeing many places also that are affected by the wildfires right now. In Ontario, Canada, a couple people from Ontario checked in. Northern Minnesota. And even here in Maine, while we've been out covering these protests, we've seen the yellow sky from the wildfires. And the smell. You got the red sun. Similar to what we saw from New York City that went viral a few years ago from the wildfire. So, guys, we are arriving to the crime scene here on Hill Street and Pool Street in Biddeford, Maine. If you guys are just tuning in, we're here on Hill Street and Pool Street at the vigil site where 26-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero was killed by ICE agents on Monday. To the left of the screen is where Johan was murdered in the street. You can see individuals gathered over there. There's candles just off the sidewalk. And there actually still is blood stains on the road where Johan was murdered by ICE agents. The community had to kind of cordon off that part of the street to pay respects. So that's why you will see candles and flowers that extend into the road there on the left side of your screen. Many personal notes written. Signs that say the violence is not normal.
So we'll go over there. You kind of walk them through.
Got it. So we're gonna walk a little closer to the scene here, you guys, so you guys can kind of gather what this looks like. So right here is the scene where Johan Sebastian Guerrero was murdered. You can see his blood. The blood was running down the street. You can actually you can still see some of the blood stains from when ICE had shot Johan Sebastian Guerrero. He was laying in the street for 5 hours. He was already dead. ICE agents had handcuffed him and taken him out of the car and put him on the ground. Here on the intersection, there's various signs and flowers, candles. One reading, Johan Sebastian Guerrero matters, with a picture next to the sign. You got a placard that just says why, with a question mark. Johan Sebastian Guerrero was a human being. A lot of times we focus on immigration status and if that person's legal or illegal, and that does not equate into this was a human life. And he was a father, a husband, 26 years old. Now his life has been taken away by these masked thugs that are patrolling our streets from the West Coast to the East Coast. With our taxpayer dollars funding this. So people have been coming out here all day bringing various, stuffed animals. There's a bluey blanket over there. As John Farina is zooming in on that, you guys can see the bluey blanket. You got sidewalk chalk, one reading, "You will be missed." Signs, ICE equals Gestapo. I'll walk to that side. You want to walk to that end? Yeah. Let's go there. And it's just as we've covered many vigils, unfortunately, it's a place of reverence. Another sign says, "We are not mad enough." There's personal letters written. I'm looking at one that's inside of a flower bucket. One reading, as John has zoomed in, "You are the best dad. My name is DeMarcus, and I want love in my town. I'm 8 years old, and I'm sad you lost your dad. I also left a big bluey toy. You can have it."
you could just read it.
So one of the cardboard signs that we got here says, "Stop staining the streets with the blood of the people who built this country." Decorated around flowers that were brought today, with flowers in the shape of a heart. You got another sign here that says, "I stand with immigrants. I'm so sorry for the actions of horrible humans." And then it says, "Fuck ICE. Fuck the regime." The white paper.
Yeah.
Got you. So sorry, guys. I'm just reading that. I'm so sorry. So one reads, "Neighbor, I don't know you, but I do know that you didn't deserve the horror that was inflicted on you and your family. I am so sorry for the despicable, cruel behavior of my government, sending prayers and strength to your beautiful wife and daughter. Rest in power." You got personal cards too. Personal notes. You got a cardboard sign at the top that says, "Hey ICE, white supremacy is an illness. Get yourself checked." So I'm reading another card here, and it says, "Is Seb okay? Probably for friends, but it seems like we'd say sup if we saw each other. I'm so sorry. You did not deserve this, and I hope to God you're resting well. I am sorry for what the state and country has to say that is evil or insulting. It is so upsetting and embarrassing. I hope you can hear us. The ones who love you. I was just on this intersection. I never thought it could be so evil. I am so sorry. We miss you and we love you, and we will continue to love and support your family. Our world can't go on like this. You know this. God is with you now. Be free." Then it's signed TBC. Got another few cards read, "We will never stop saying your name. You are always loved." Another one that says, "Johann Sebastian Guerrero will be remembered forever. Biddeford will not forget. Moore will not forget. Rest in peace." And then you got another one that says, "Maine loves Johann Sebastian Guerrero. Rest in peace." See, I want to hear it says, "Rest in power. Sweet son, Mainers will," I'm sorry, it's covered by some flowers. "Mainers will take up, and we won't stop until all people can breathe freely. Johann Sebastian Guerrero, say his name." You want to talk to him?
See if he wants. All right, guys. We are gonna wrap up in a bit. We got another day tomorrow. So okay, hang out for a bit. Share this. Get this out there. All right. Again, this is where. Johann, right? Johann was shot and killed on Monday. This is the corner of Poole Street and Hill Street in Biddeford, Maine. So you see here in chalk, hold on, I'm going to turn around. So somebody wrote, "This is blood," because you see here the blood stains. You can see them starting up there and then eventually wash down. So we're just waiting on Jolly. Jolly's right over here. We're just waiting on Jolly to wrap up a video, and then we're going to talk to him for a little bit, and possibly one of the locals. We'll try and get one more interview before we wrap up. Again, thank you to Midas Touch, the viewers, for watching. And thank you for your support. And if you can, sign up as a member. Keep us on the ground, showing you these stories. Statuscoup.com/join. Right, more people are arriving with flowers. So again, this is going to be, all day, every day, people just coming here. Just like we've seen in Minneapolis with Renee and Alex. The memorial just kept growing by the day. More people, people were showing up every day. So it's just going to be another one of those. I don't know how many states I have to travel to, but I don't want to keep doing this shit, so this shit's got to stop.
Been at many scenes like this over the past year. Another community grieving. Covering this story, we'll say, this ICE will be in your town next, and I feel people will hear that, and then until ICE murders a member of your community, it hits harder at that point. But the time to speak out against it is before, or even at the political level, to take action. And when we have a culture in our government that funds militarized policing or foreign wars, and then we got a population that, thank you. You had a population that is fairly ignorant. You got a lot of people now that are becoming aware, and even at the park we talked to a couple individuals, one that was just supported Trump in 2016, and now he's in a different place. And then you had a guy out there that he said he did support Trump and was thanking the police and everything, but he supported the First Amendment rights of the protests. So regardless, that type of individual is getting exposed to people standing up for each other and standing up for the community that you live in. Otherwise, the government and the elites will just continue to murder us without any accountability at all.
I don't know if you guys heard Tammy when I was interviewing Tammy before. So, Johan's daughter was in the car and witnessed all that. And the reason you see so many bluey blankets, there was a bluey balloon, bluey cards and drawings here, because she was wearing bluey pajamas. Yeah, on Monday.
One of the signs I'm reading says, we know you found a place far better than this cruel world. Though your life was taken unjustly, your spirit lives on in every heart that remembers you and every voice that continues to seek justice. Another sign, the bluey figure on there says, Johan, your life mattered. Love wins, even in the darkness. And you just had individuals here bringing seashells, or it looks like they had written messages on some seashells. It was saying, "You will be missed," "Somewhere over the rainbow," or just "Rest in peace." You know, various different designs written on these seashells that individuals are bringing. And as you can see here, you got people still coming out and bringing flowers to the vigil site.
Let's go. Okay.
Do you mind talking with us, sir? Just a few words. So, you got your family out here. What inspired you to bring your family to the vigil?
I think this is something pretty important for these kids to learn about. You know, these kids go to school with, you know, young kids like them that are losing their parents over shit over stuff like this. You know, this kid didn't deserve to die. Never mind, 100 feet from my house.
You live 100 feet away.
I live a couple hundred, yeah, right down the road.
Did you ever expect to see this in your hometown?
No, not in my hometown. No. It's unfortunate. It's crazy. You know, and
you had written a message on your flower vase. What did it say?
yeah, my wife here actually wrote it, and it's his name. It says Forever 26 and Ice.
What are you hoping happens after this? What are you hoping for?
I think what everybody's hoping for isn't really ever going to happen, but this shit just needs to stop. You know, these people come here, they come here for a life just like every one of us is living, you know what I mean? This kid, he was here legally. You know, he wasn't even who they thought he was. Never mind what color he was, where he was from, you know what I mean? He's got kids. You know?
And then what gives the government the right to do that and like take the matters into their own hands and commit illegal acts?
Yeah.
No
right. Yeah. None.
I just want to ask, because when was the last time there's been a murder in this town, in Biddeford? I mean, I'm just saying, like...
I mean, there's been a few. There's been a few.
What I'm trying to get at is, you know, they're saying this is this is all for public safety and we're trying to keep people safe. Do you feel safer with these federal agents?
Not at all. I mean, they come around, you know, and they think they're above everybody, and it's being shown, you know. And there's a right and a wrong way of doing everything, you know, everything.
I feel safer with them here
and we don't feel safer, that he's not here. He was causing no harm to anybody, So we're no safer with him gone. Justice needs to be served.
What does accountability look like to you?
The ICE agents that shot him need to be held accountable for this, and there needs to be, I think, jail time served for this. This is murder in our streets. Yeah.
What would you like to see from elected officials?
Change. I want them to stand up for us, and they're not here. They're not. We need to see change in them. They need to be here for us, especially at this time.
I'm sorry. It's all, we've been in Chicago, we've been in Minneapolis, every time there's something like this, and it's always strong words, but no action from them.
There's never any actions. We're right back to where we were in Minneapolis, Texas. These are innocent people, and there is no change, and I don't know when there is going to be, but it needs to happen.
You mentioned you live 100 feet away. Have you gotten any answers from your local officials or anything, any accountability answers or anything?
No, not that I've seen, no. And I mean, all that the public's seen is the video camera from this place of him after he's already been shot in the car. You know what I mean? There's nothing. They're trying to hide something, or there's got to be something,
Yeah, it seems like, and then you can see there's other cameras like up in this intersection.
Yeah, they say that those are sensors for the emergency department, but I mean every one of our intersections have those what to me look like cameras, but
Are you hoping to see more footage or more from what happened here in this intersection from video?
Oh, I just I think that the community deserves the answers, and all these people out here protesting, and then you get all the other half talking all this stuff when if it is true, then it's true, but there ain't no swaying them any other way, and it's unfortunate, but, this kid didn't deserve to die. I think that's the point being, you know what I mean? The cruelty, right? 30 feet behind us.
Blood stains are still on the ground.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. And
just saw you on Facebook today.
You did? Wow.
First time ever.
Thank you so much. Status Coup News.
Yeah,
thank you, buddy. Thank you for your time. Nice to meet you guys.
It's unfortunate. Right.
Yeah, I know.
Keep. You guys, you're the voice for the people. Obviously we can speak, but you put it out for the public. Like you said, you've been to D.C. You've been all over. And I'm sure you both got families. But this is important, and that's why my kids are here. They need to see this. They need to see this. This is, it's just unfortunate.
Absolutely, and we do have families, and that's why we make sacrifices, because we know getting this information out is important to change the direction for the future for our kids, and that's why we make those sacrifices.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for your time, buddy. One more time.
What was your name?
Michael.
Nice to meet
Thank you so much, buddy.
You're gonna be here for the rest of the week, so I'm sure we'll see you around.
Oh, sure, yeah, I'm sure we'll see you, buddy.
All right, let's
Wrap up.
I don't think.
You think he's busy? I can go talk. I can go ask him one more.
He's gonna be.
He'll be here all week. Yeah.
let's go over.
Okay. We'll see Jolly all week. You said, yeah. Very emotional scene, you guys back there.
We could wrap it up here. Just do one more membership push.
Yep.
Statusquo.com/story.
So, guys, we are still on the ground. We've been here since Tuesday, but we have covered this story across the country from last year until right now. We've been on the ground covering this ICE terror in our cities, in our streets for over a year. We are one of the only, or the only independent media platform that's been so consistent covering this, from the back end of it when you have Jordan investigating, or JT investigating behind the scenes and then giving that details, the great John Farina, you got Will, you got Tina, now myself. I'm so blessed to be a part of this team that have been on the ground, as well as Jordan and JT, but everybody's been covering this story for the past year. Guys, for less than $5 a month, which is a cup of coffee, You can support Status Coup. Go to statuscoup.com/join and support independent media so we can stay on the ground and can continue telling these stories, guys, like we are here right now outside of this vigil for Johann Sebastian Guerrero, 26-year-old father, husband, legal. He's going through the legal process, but again, for me personally, putting a legal status on someone does not define who they are. He was a human being, okay? He was a human, and he had his life taken just behind us in cold blood from ICE agents on Monday. We're going to continue to be here through the week. We're going to have more protest coverage for you guys, more interviews, everything that's going on here in Biddeford, Maine. We got you. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on Twitch, follow on all the platforms that you guys are watching. Thank you again for Status Coup. I'm from Mercado Media. So glad to be here reporting live for Status Coup News and Midas Touch Network. I will see you guys the rest of the week. Take care.